Okay, so welcome to my first, I guess, Final Cut Pro X tutorial. This is doing the chrome ball effect in I guess a 360 video. So first what you're going to do, you pop your footage in, but then you also add an additional attached clip. So, so one stacked on top of the other. Now, I'm just getting rid of the audio here, just so it just makes it easier. There's no real text or anything or dialogue in this clip anyway, and this is not my clip, this is somebody else's clip. I'm still yet to get my own 360 camera. But what you want to do is get the flipped effect and pop it on the top one, but then switch it over to vertical flipping, so it's now upside down. Then you want to go back to into the transform. In transform, you want to reduce the size of the clip on the y-axis. Oops, I've done the x-axis there. So reduce the size of the clip on the x-axis. I usually go down to around, for this clip, probably about 20%. There'll be a bit of fine tuning later. And then you want to do is lower its position on the y-axis, so I'll get it right down the bottom there. And you might need to also shift your position, so you see how it's kind of, the sky is kind of closing in on the sky's closing in on the center there. So that's pretty much it. Okay, back up. All right, let's get that out of the way. So yeah, just want to, and this is where you fine tune it. You just kind of keep going in and out, like down with the position, but also then come back and adjust the size a bit. So we can just move around a bit there, and I see it's kind of okay. So we can maybe make the ball a bit smaller, and as you see, as you get it smaller, it brings that hole back. So you've got to bring it back down, because technically where Frank's thumb is the absolute bottom of the image. So his thumb, even though you see it in the view as just an individual thumb, if you look at the equirectangular, or however pronounce it, picture, his thumb is spread all the way across the bottom of the shot. So there you'll see there's a bit of a blur where the stitching is. There's a bit of color difference between the two, exposure difference between the two lenses. That can't be helped really now that the video is being shot. So what I'm doing here, I'm just bringing the clip back up vertically, like on the y-axis, to cover up that the stitching line in the finger, and then just making that ball a little bit, damn, back up again. Let me move that out of the way. There we go, that's out of the way. Alright, and so there we go. So that's just a bit of fine tuning on that. Just to make sure that absolute center point of the chrome ball is all good and the fingers covered as best as possible. We might give that a bit of, maybe I'll give that a bit of a play. See how that comes out. Yeah, that looks alright. Alrighty, so the next thing I do is just trim the top of the pardon me. There we go. So that's playing nice and smoothly there. So now the next thing I do is just trim the top of the chrome ball effect, just because you're tapering off the edge of the ball, so you're not going to see exactly what's under the ball, if you will. So you take the edge off, only like 20 or so pixels, and that way, you know, the chrome ball is taking up the space of what you might see underneath it. All right. Now, the next thing to do, the shadow effect around it, is the graduated mask. We put that on the bottom one, on the original, like the main clip. Crunch down that the graduation so it's really thin and tight. There we go. Just whoop. There we go. And then drag the whole thing down so it's just right underneath. So it's pretty much popping a shadow there. We can zoom in to get in nice and close to finesse it, I guess. So there we go. We can make that graduation even tighter, and bring it down so get most of the bulk of the black right under the ball, so it's very, very subtle. And I mean the viewer makes it look really thick, but when you're just kind of dipping down in your headset, it doesn't look as tight, I guess. So there we go. That's the chrome ball effect with a little bit of a shadow. Really simple, not that special, I guess, but it just gives you something else to cover up the tripod, or your hand if you're handling your camera like Frank is there. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Subscribe, I guess.